Welcome to a slightly foggy day in Empyrion Galactic Survival, and here we are. I'm stood up on the top of my base and I just want to give you guys a quick overview of what I've been up to off camera. I've laid out this area here. This is going to be my hover vehicle construction site. You can see here I've pulled my old hover vehicle out and just put it down here. I'll probably take it apart from the spares. I've also built a couple of weapons towers here to help defend the base. So I think the base now is pretty close to being a defensive entity in its own right. I've also brought up my old small vessel here. It's parked on here and it's doing okay. We'll probably do something about that as well. I'll probably take this apart for spares because I want to build a new, maybe slightly more larger enhanced version of this ship here. Now, before I go out and do the main activity of this video, which is I want to go out and raid these villages, I just wanted to compare the two. It's quite rare to get two villages close together, so I thought it'd be fun to come out, raid one, and then flip over and raid the other one. These are very good early game POIs when you're looking for basic resources. You won't get a vast amount of resources from them, but they're a good source of the basics. They're also quite a good source of plants and health kits. But before that, guys, I want to talk something about John VZ800 posted a comment and he was quite right. This bridge is pretty naff and I should have done it with railings and platforms. And the problem is, guys, and I'm going to be completely honest with this, when I'm laying out a new base like this, I'm very much a tinkerer, so I do things, then I take things apart and move things around. And what I tend to do is I forget a little bit about some of the more aesthetic components of a base, including walkways. And I think I'm just going to remedy that while it remembers here. These are walkways down here. I think if I make 6, oops, I've lost count. One more. And while that's actually doing, oops, I could have done that. I want to put this food that I've just got. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is put that actually into my yeah, this is all food. I can put this into my small vessel. What we're going to do is just drop that there, and I don't want this to spoil any more than necessary, so I'm just going to drop that into here. Fridge. It should all fit in here quite nicely. And oops, that first thing I need to do is take this apart. So I'm just going to retrieve these blocks. This also means that I'm going to get back some quite valuable blocks, which I can use somewhere else. And you can see here where the icon actually says a railing, and if you click here you get these different options for angler, corners, and I think we're just going to start with the basic walkway to start with. And what I want to do, oops, we're going to need to go that round. So put the walkway in, and I think that makes a little bit of a difference. And then I think we'll just go for railing diagonal. I mean, we could have glass railings. I think we're just going to have ordinary standard railings here. And I must admit, when I do this, I tend to like to especially when I've got a walkway, a raised walkway like this, I tend to have the block on the outside like this. Simply, I mean, you can do it this way. I mean, it doesn't make any difference from the point of view of somebody walking across the bridge, because the avatars can actually walk through the bridge. In fact, I'll do it this way just to demonstrate, guys. But generally, I prefer to have it on the outside. And as John quite rightly pointed out, that actually makes everything a lot better. There's even a better link here. And probably eventually I would have got round to putting a railing all the way around the top, but I'm still not sure. I mean, I keep looking at this area here, and there's part of me that says keep bringing this out, keep this trend going, so that this actually comes out as an overhang all the way up to here, or maybe just tapering in a bit, but I'm not sure how. Sometimes what I find the best way to do when you build bases is partly what I'm doing now, is after you've laid out a base, is you stop building for a little while, use it, see what's working, what isn't working, and then change it correspondingly. Right guys, let's just get down to the main focus of this video. I'm just going to jump in and power up thrusters. I'm going to get into here. In fact, what I should really need to do is just mark this village. Move on approach. And we're going to fly in the direction of the village. It's only just over 2 kilometers away. It's not much to see. What I'll do is I'll fly to the village, guys, and then I'll pick the video up there. Right guys, here we are. We're coming up on the village. It's can't really see it at the moment. Now, villages tend to have a single main entrance, and I find that that's the best way to get in. I mean, you can go in and land the ship inside of the village, but I find it's just easier to land the ship just by the front door. And of course, if you turn up on a motorbike early in the game, you'll be coming in this entrance as well. Sometimes there are other entrances as well, and what I'm going to do is just drop there. Of course, I'm going to need to be aware of spiders, and I'm just going to kit up. Now, inside of the village, you're going to find villagers. They won't generally attack you, but there's often crawlers inside. And the trick first is to get in and take out the spawners first without actually hitting the villagers, because that will stop them spawning. There's also often a goodie box round the back here, so we'll just come around here. Okay, not too bad. A couple of solar panels. I need to work on the solar power energies of my base. But the thing we need to keep an eye out for is the crawlers. So, okay, these guys are gone for me for some reason. I'm not sure why. And I've got an open wound, but the trick is to get out the entrance. This guy actually. Okay, we have to do it the hard way. Grab those, and just. Now these guys are going to obligingly stand here, and we can just shoot them up. And the trick is, if you come in here, you can use just to actually loot the bodies, because you don't want too big a pile here, because sometimes you can't actually get at them all. Oops, back a bit. Sometimes they lay on top of each other, so it can be a little bit difficult to actually get at them. And then once they're dead, they're going to obligingly wait there for you. This is what makes this such an easy option early in the game. So we can just shove this in here, and I think we can shove the meat in the fridge. Oops. Okay, I think we can eat that. Then we can put the meat into the fridge. That we can turn into something else. That can go there. And I think what we can do is come in here, just turn those into that. And hello guys. And of course, because the spawners are still there, you can actually game the game here, is probably the best way to describe it, guys. By actually, it comes in, don't get too close to them, because so you can actually just keep, so you can get a nice supply of bandages here and food. Okay, I think that's become a bit of a mess, so right, let's get in here really quick. Quick change. Right, we've got dermal parasites, and let's just make sure we got that. We're okay with this for the moment. We also grab this guy as well. Now I've got plenty of med kits. So we've got poisonous bite and dermal parasites. So I'm just going to get back outside the entrance. And a couple of these now have despawned, which means we can now get in. And there, we got you. Okay. Med kits. So we've got poisonous bite and dermal parasites. You can see the time clicking down. So but we've got plenty of time here, guys. Poisonous bite. That's, whoops. I'm just gonna. Whoops. Get rid of that. And we got dermal parasites. Let's wait for the. And we got an open wound, but we can do that with. Just make sure everything is loaded up. Okay. This is where it's quite strange actually. These guys go peaceful after a while. Just want to make sure we've got all the spawners. Yep. That's probably because I clipped one of them while I was taking down the spawner. So that's something to remember, guys, is be careful when you're actually taking down the spawner. Now there should be another goodie box in here. Just going to grab that. So we got. And there was one more villager here. Okay. There he is. So get him for completeness. There's another one coming. Okay, outside. Not that I want to game it, but well, Talos Guardian, you're the last of the last. So I'm just going to grab you. So we got a nice, pretty good haul here, guys. So well. The bandages can definitely go there, and the rest of this can go into the ship. So I'm just gonna come in here. I'm taking a little bit of a chance here by standing out here. I think we can turn these into bars, and I think the rest we can just shove into the. Just shove. Oops, nope, I don't want that. I want to keep those. Keep that. Don't need projectile pistol. That can go in there. That can go in there. That can go in there. So dermal burn, frostbite, open wound, dermal parasite, poisonous bite. Oh, that's something I should have used instead of the injection actually, because I could have cured both of those with one shot. Never mind. That's the way it goes. And I'm just going to jump it back into the ship. And before we leave. Got 4, so 3, 4, and we're actually taking a bit of damage. So we come in here, we go to the fridge, and just take. No, just drink a couple of these. Just gonna get my health back. Get back to the close to the edge there. That's 106. That's grain. I'm not sure why I'm carrying grain around in the fridge. Anyway, right. So what we're going to do now, guys, is just put the power back on, and then we're going to go and visit the other village and see what that one's like. Hopefully, it will be different. I haven't actually visited it. I mean, if it's the same one, it's the same one. That's all there is to it. And we're just going to fly across the surface here. Right, we've also got stuff on our radar now. We've got stuff to the east. could check it out. No, I don't want to get distracted, guys. I'll check that out after we've cleared out the village. Go and see what type of village we got. If we come in from this side here, see, this is a different village. This is like a more, looks a bit more classical with the temples in it. Oh, that's pretty cool. I actually like this. Wow. I'm just gonna, because the trees are in the way. There will still be the crawlers and the Talos defenders inside, guys. So from that point of view, it's exactly the same. So we're just going to turn the thrusters off. Just make sure we're fully loaded. Same process as last time. I mean, I could, you know, I don't actually recognise this village. I can't remember ever doing one of these. So there's a spawner over there. There's another one there. That means that probably the other spawner's tucked around the back here somewhere. There's one here. This is probably the one that's going to spawn the crawlers. Okay. So that's probably the one we've got. These are spawning the ordinary creatures, so I think there they are. Gotcha. Reload. Right, there's a spawner there. We can pick the grain. Once we pick the grain while we're here. Get a few more supplies. The tomatoes are still growing. Oh well, never mind. And we've got some, I think these are vegetables, so might as well pick these up while we're on the way through. Right, there's a loot box there, but we'll come back to that. This is a bit more of a complex village to get through. Okay. Let's make sure we get the spawn around first. Hello guys. And if I remember correctly, there's a spawn over here. I think that will be it. Let's have a quick look. Quite often there's a goodie box behind these, but not in this case. Never mind. Now I got a lot from these guys, so do I really want to shoot them up, or should I just leave them in peace and just go and loot this area around? I think we're just going to loot up the rooms here, so, and the easiest way, oops, no, okay, click outside the spawn area. I think we'll be okay. I'm just going to see if we can find the main loot boxes. I'm not, quite often they are in the upstairs rooms, so you've got to have a little bit of a look round and look in the peer in the windows. Oh, there's one in there, so that's just in here up the stairs. This should be the one, isn't it? Nope, it's not this one. Okay, it's one of these. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, there is. Got some copper. That's pretty good. Okay. Nothing in that one. Nothing in that one. Anything around the back here? There's one right at the back here. Nothing on this side. Anything in this one? Nope. Okay. Nothing around the back of the temple. Okay. So I'm just going to get around the back here. There is. Just grab a bit more. Certainly want to use force fields in my base. You just take up this position here. And I'm just gonna. Nothing in there. Nothing in there. Nothing in there. Unusual that there's nothing in the temples. Just gonna double check. Nope. As I say, you don't get a vast amount of loot boxes inside these villages, but as I said before, in the early game, when you're really short of resources, that loot can make all the difference. Right, I think that's about it, guys, and we're just going to come back out here. Okay, I can't resist the temptation. Let's get their attention a bit. A couple of bandages. Nope, nope. Okay, just a quick reload. The trouble is they're piling up on top of each other, which is a bit of a... Got an open wound. Okay. Problem is when they all pile up on each other like that, it can be quite a little bit difficult to sort out who's who. Anyway, I think that's enough, guys. I'm just going to jump back into the ship while I sort out what I've got. Certainly got that. Got some meat. Got a bit like that. I think we'll knock out a couple of these. That can go to there. And let's come into here. I'm not sure if I put the grain in the mobile constructor and you can just turn out another 100. That means I don't have to store that in the fridge. I'll put the meat in the fridge, and we don't actually have any way to, what I could do is get rid of that and shove that into there, and then that can go in the mobile constructor. Don't know how much more. Oh, well, we can always just be on the safe side, just make sure it turns everything into whatever we need. That can go there, and of course this can all get shoved into the cargo box. That's got a perish time, it's got leaves, but I don't think there's much we can do about that. That can go in there. That can go in there. That can go in there. Do we have space for leaves in the fridge? Nope. Okay, we got beans. Why is that? Okay. For some reason I separated my canned vegetables out. And what I'm going to do is just going to, if I put 10 in, it would do 8. No, I'm just being lazy there, guys. And I think if I get that to, no, it won't go to 100%. We got plenty of this. If I go to 100%, what that will do is start to regenerate that little bit of lost health. And I think just to finish this part off, guys, we'll go get stuck in the trees. I'm just going to fly east to see what is to the east, and then that would be it for this part, guys. We might also take advantage of where we go. Yeah, this is unexplored territory, so we're going to fly into the here. It says east and south, so we're just going to fly this way. I mean, it's probably going to be minerals or something like that. Famous last words. No, looks like there might be a base or something here. Just going to drop down so that we're... Okay, what have we got here? Right. We found where's the fortress? So it's almost like there's a... Okay, is that a fortress? Yeah, that's the fortress. Okay, we've got a fortress here. Certainly, well, we'll be back to visit that in the future. And yeah, it's actually far enough. We found. Looks like we found some Empyrion. I'm just going to fly this way up now. Again, another quick check. So we got a fortress with some Empyrion next to it. I'm just going to fly northeast, uncover this Symposium, and we're going to fly north now. This says northeast again, so we're just going to fly up through here. Right, we found cobalt, and we still got plenty of stuff on the radar, so that's that. So we've got cobalt away that side. That's pretty good. Right guys, I think this is where I'm going to leave it. In the next part we'll get back to some base building, and maybe we'll start putting together the greenhouse, since I've now got plenty of plants. All I can say is hope you enjoyed the video, hope you found it interesting, and until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.